All right. My name is Kesh. This is my friend Justin, and we're ex-MAP students. So we did our Master's of Applied Positive Psychology. We graduated last year. And with our friend Simon, we were having a conversation yesterday that led to the creation of this, the COVID Convos. So what is that all about? Justin, do you want to give a little bit of an idea of how this all started?
Yeah, and let's go with Griggsy because I'm going to feel way too formal if we go with Justin. So yeah, so yesterday we were chatting and we were just sort of thinking about how serious all the media is and how there's really a space in there for people, real people, to talk about and engage with what's happening in their lives with the COVID-19 experience. So I'm in Europe at the moment, and you guys are in Australia, and that gives, I guess, gives us the capacity to speak a little bit about the different perspectives that we're getting on it, the different differences between the countries. I've personally found it really interesting to watch the videos out of China, which I think a lot of people have watched, on what's happening there, because that was a little precursor to what's happened in our, well, what could happen potentially in our countries to some extent. Hopefully not all of it. But yeah, so that's sort of why we're here. And we're also, I think we get on pretty well. Hopefully that doesn't change throughout this experience.
The other thing that really sparked this was that feeling that positive psychology is something that's reserved for when things are going well. And it's our solid belief that in times of crisis, taking care of health and well-being is paramount. We go off that broaden and build theory. If you have the psychological resources, you're able to meet the challenge. And if you're in crisis mode, that restricts how much cognitive space you have to handle the situation. So it was kind of us thinking about, well, how can we increase the psychological resources of our community? And we figured the best way to do that is to get together with real people and have real conversations about what's going on, rather than all of this doom porn that just gets pushed into our faces every single day.
Yeah, and I think it's an opportunity to talk about different things that we learned and how we can apply them, or how people are applying them in this situation, which is, it's very unique to have things shutting down and being isolated at home. It's very unique. Plus, that means there's going to be a lot of people sitting around not really with a lot to do. So maybe they get bored enough to find our link to these videos, and maybe we can be of some way of help to other people. But firstly, I think just talking about it already made me think about what I'm doing. So therefore, it's gonna maybe help me and my family, and you and the people you're around as well. So, as well as Simon's family. So, yeah, I think first and foremost, if nobody watches this except for us, then I think it'll still be a positive experience.
Well, and as you're talking, I'm just thinking about how much is actually needed right now. So I've actually been putting off going shopping, kind of listening kind of in the ether about all this crazy stuff that's happening. And my partner's sister went to the shops the other day and was like, it was cleaned out. There was nowhere to get anything. So we put together a plan this morning to go shopping. We figured we'd get to Aldi about 8:30 when it opens, and maybe beat the rush, and there might still be things there. So we get there in the morning, and there's about 50 to 60 people waiting for Aldi to open. This massive line.
Crazy.
And there was this one moment where I was watching society breaking down as we were waiting to enter Aldi. And there was this man, and he was not having it. He was trying to get every single new person that came along to realize that there was a line. So he was trying to get everyone to queue up, and if you showed up and you're not at the back of the line, he was going to direct you to the back of the line.
Yeah, an Audi employee or
No, he's just this
or
old man
wannabe.
that's just decided to make himself the line master. Um,
Oh, Jesus.
but it was impossible because like where we were, the Audi had lifts that were coming down straight to the door. There was a staircase that was like there was no way to control the flow of people.
Yeah,
And just as it was about to open, this family, like this elevator opened up, and there was like 10 people that got out, and he's trying to, he's like, just so you know, I think the most thing to do here is to go to the back. And like collectively, the whole line was kind of like, leave it alone, man, right? But you could just
yeah,
tell at that moment, all hell was about to break loose. And it was just
yeah,
that one little shred of human decency and dignity and pro-social behavior. It's okay, mate.
yeah,
That held everything together. But it could have just so
yeah,
easily fallen apart. And I think, these are some of the little things that we're dealing with at the moment, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to talk about him, isn't it?
Mm.
And that's that story that you've just shared is probably a good chance to explain our name a little bit, which is COVID Convos, which is very Australian. Convos, not Convos, which I thought maybe people think it's Convos and we're some sort of, I don't know, Greek or Italian
We need
group
to put
getting
an
together.
apostrophe on that, the intro thing.
Yeah, yeah, I might need to. But that I think it, and obviously the way we're speaking, it's pretty obvious that we're Australian, and so part of our identity, I guess, is to bring that humour and an Australian perspective, which some people like, some people don't. So
We also feel a little bit responsible, being the harbingers of the toilet paper crisis. We feel
yeah,
a little bit of a need to rectify that situation.
yeah. Well, that crisis has moved over here. Luckily, we've got a couple of spare rolls, but yeah, I didn't think, I thought that'd be unique to Australia. I couldn't believe that it was toilet paper before food. I think that's what everyone's laughing about, isn't it? It's like it's so stupid. But like you were saying, that narrowing of attention is because of I guess the opposite of broadening attention that comes with people feeling happy, feeling in a well space. When they feel in that survival mode, they narrow and they just focus on, or their thinking becomes very narrow and very unclear at times. So it's very interesting to see it in reality, and and funny as well.
And on the flip side of that, the other thing that I was thinking about was how it's kind of how that negativity bias comes into the question, right? We focus a lot on the problem and understanding the problem, and there's not actually that much. Well, for a long time, there wasn't that much going on with what you can actually do about it. So,
Yeah,
of course, people start ending up in these places where they're buying toilet paper. They don't know what else to do, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
before we
Yeah,
get into
it's
more,
doing something.
before
Yeah,
we get into more not very well thought out, far flung responses like that, let's get together and figure out what we can do. That's going to help us
yeah,
take care of ourselves and each other through this period. Mm.
yeah, yeah. It's and I think I don't know. One of the first things, because I went into that mode as well, and it was only because of sort of the training that we've done that I was able to try and flip it. But one of the first things I thought of was, oh, well, let's get a mask to reduce risk of infection, and let's get some alcohol things, and all that stuff's gone. So that's taken from you. So yeah, what's the next thing you can do? Prepare for the doomsday, the dystopian future that I saw in a really good documentary. I think it was a documentary, Walking Dead. But no, not a documentary at all. I am joking there. But yeah, I completely forgot where I was going with that story. Very, very classical. Oh no, that's right. So the whole idea of seeing the silver lining in this situation, for me, it was, okay, what are the good things? There's obviously going to be some really average or less good things, but the good thing is, okay, my daughter's going to be staying home from school from now. It's over here. It's been all schools have been shut as of yesterday. So we're Saturday morning here. So yesterday was the last day, and so that's a great opportunity. I went out and for me to spend some time with her and do some different things. I went out and bought some like a remote control car and a couple of other toys, a drone that my wife said was for me, not for not for my daughter. She's only 3, so
one for you, one for me, one for you, one for me.
Yeah. So I guess I just saw that opportunity as like, and there's, you know, for all those people out there with kids who'll be staying home and people might need to stay home from work, I think it's a really good opportunity to get to know your kids with minimal distraction, really. I mean, other than distractions that you create yourself, it's a great opportunity to be a bit more of a family. And yeah, how often do you get that chance to just sit at home? Most people, when they get that time off, they'll go somewhere, or they'll, you know, there's always that urgency to do something. This is just be with each other. You got no choice. Or you do. You can be in separate rooms. Yeah, but there's a positive to it. So
yeah,
and yeah, I don't know.
I guess you know, that's what we want this conversation to be. We want to keep bringing it back to that. You know, we don't want to deny it. Where there is a crisis going on, there are real stuff. We do have to take that on board, but we also have to balance that with what are the opportunities, what are the positives that come out of this. How can we take care of ourselves? How can we take care of our family? And more than that, how can we make it an opportunity to grow that, make it deeper, cultivate, thrive? And we don't think that that's an impossible question. So that's why we want to keep exploring it with all of you.
And part of that opportunity that you're speaking about is also behind why we're recording these conversations, because I guess, well, when you think about it, there's a lot of people who will be sitting there. Maybe they don't have that many people around them, and they'll be looking for information online. So maybe this is real enough to connect with people, and also all the professionals in this space, and anybody really. I guess we're looking to invite people in to chat about their experiences, speak about how they're looking after their own well-being, different strategies that they might be using, or funny things that they've run into. I think taking advantage of that opportunity that presents itself, where a lot of people who maybe are too busy to normally speak to something like this might be able to tap in and, hey, I'm sitting here on my hands. I know the workplace I'm currently at, which is a business coaching company, they're all sitting around. All their sessions have been cancelled because it's all face-to-face stuff. So a couple of things are still going, but there's a lot of people who have gone from being full-on 50, 60 hours a week workers who now have a bit more time. So that's an opportunity as well to speak to us.
Yeah, Justin's but yeah, the way that we kind of envisioned this is there's going to be 3 of us. We're going to be here having these conversations, but we want to put this out to our network. So hopefully we've shared this with you. If you want to get involved, you know, if you know about some well-being stuff that you think could be useful, or like Justin said, you work in a particular context, you want to tell us about your experience and bring that on board, or you know, we want to hear from people overseas as well. How is this affecting you in the areas that you are in? And we just want to make that an ongoing conversation so that we're not in it alone. Yeah. And we're all here working on a positive future together. So if you want to be involved and contribute to that, it's an open invite. The way that it's going to work at the moment is we're going to try to make it every day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless for whatever reason we can't make it work with our schedules. But we're going to try to maintain that, and then we'll see if it goes. If people are interested and it has energy, then we'll keep it going. And if not, was a fun experiment.
Yeah, yeah, and I think just on that, it's like we spoke about before that already. First episode, Simon not able to be with us, so we spent a lot of time speaking about him behind his back, and then no, and then we decided, you know, consistency over perfection, and just if one of us is here, then the show will go on, so to speak, with provided that person is with maybe an invited guest, but I think there always will be one of us here, otherwise the show won't happen. And I just think that allows it. I wouldn't want to do the show alone, because the whole idea is a bit of banter back and forth and enjoying it, and I don't really want it to be a monologue. So yeah, so the idea is different perspectives. Every show will be a bit different in the people who'll be there. It might be a bit of a fluid hosting panel, a little bit like the what's the show over there? I've been over here 3 months and I've forgotten that the news done differently. What's that? The project.
The project.
Yeah, the project. A little bit like that, you know, changes every night. Although I'm not necessarily saying I love that show. I've watched it like 3 times in my life, so no offense if any of those people are watching, which would be a great result. If
you want to contribute,
that'd be a great result. Watching the first episode, getting high level people watching. So yeah, and I think we've intentionally made the decision to keep this very, very relaxed. So you can probably see where I'm videoing from. There's a painting behind that I decided not to take off. I've woken up about 10 minutes earlier, haven't done my hair at all. I'm very self-conscious about it. You'll see cats and people going up and down the stairs at Kesha's there. It's designed to be pretty relaxed, which is very Australian. So maybe if nothing else, if anyone watches internationally, they'll learn something about Australians. What else was there that we were gonna introduce in this first session?
That's pretty much it. You know who we are. You know what the show's about. Is applying post-psych and taking care of our well-being in the midst of the coronavirus crisis. You know why we're doing it. You know where we're doing it, when we're doing it, and you know that we want you to get involved. So if you have a subject area or a well-being exercise that you're doing in this time, or you know your particular context is handling this issue in a particular way, or you know you want to talk about it, hit us up. We're excited.
And if there's, I was going to say, if somebody's there's a couple of things. One, we need to talk about how they can hit us up, which I'll say now. And the second is maybe just for people who don't know what well-being is.
Yeah.
Because I'm still not sure I'm clear after 2 years of just talking about it. But we can discuss just to clarify, you know, so people know whether they're barking up the right tree.
Yeah, gotcha.
Speaking about the right subject in more common English.
Go on, explain to me what well-being is, Justin, please.
Oh no, I'm gonna do. So what I was thinking was I'll do the talking about how they can hit us up, and then you can do the talking about well-being. So how you can connect with us is on, well, one, I think we've all got LinkedIn profiles. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Check it. Probably a little too much. Really enjoy a lot of the content on there. So Justin Griggs, and I'm currently located in Belgium, so you'll be able to search me through that. And then Kesh Sharma, and I think that's how you're listed on LinkedIn as well. And then Simon Coverdale on LinkedIn as well. So, and then we have a Twitter page, which currently has 0 followers and 0 tweets. So you can contact us through that. That's COVID Conversations, all one word, or at COVID Conversations. Oh, sorry, at COVID Convos. You're already giving misinformation. So COVIDCONVOS. Convos. And then there's also, I mean, this video will be on YouTube, so you can comment in the comments section as well. And we will still getting all the socials sorted, so we will have other options as time goes by. But I think if you want to contact us,
you can always email us at Convos, COVIDCONVOS @gmail.com.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's maybe another good one. And now the well-being explanation, I'll leave it to you, Kesh, because we've spoken a bit about it already.
Yeah, that's a simple and loaded question, isn't it? After doing 2 years of the Masters of Applied Positive Psychology, I'm not actually sure I know what well-being is anymore, but I know it when I see it. But basically, well-being is about feeling good and doing good. Basically the two things. So what are you doing to help make yourself feel good, make others feel good? And, what are you doing that is good? Like, what kind of stuff are you doing that is helping others, helping yourself? We want to share that around, so everybody is able to get those benefits and maintain their health and their happiness through potentially anxiety-inducing, stressful time that is happening right now. So anything to do with feeling good, doing good, I think we're interested in.
Yeah, and I think just to explain why after 2 years we can't explain the main concepts that we studied, which is very funny, is that there's hundreds of definitions on what it is, and some of them contradict each other would be maybe a little strong, but there's a lot of different perspectives on it. So we've probably gone with one of the broadest ones there. Another definition is how well your life is going for you, which is very broad as well. And then there's some definitions that talk about different domains of well-being. I particularly like the mental, social, and physical health model. I think there's another component in there somewhere, which is the World Health Organization definition for well-being, like a state of complete health, which is, I think, not necessarily a bad one. There's definitely a lot of other things that can go in there, but right now, thinking about mental and physical particularly, if you're going to be locked in a house, so to speak, or shut down, the physical side is going to be something that I think we'll speak about quite a bit. But most of our training, the training that we did was focused more on the psychological or mental tools, wasn't it? So
and social.
Yeah, and social, yeah. But my background is, that's something we haven't spoken about. My background is, first degree was exercise science, and I teach PE currently. Well, I'm on long service leave, but I'm employed as a PE teacher and psychology teacher. So my background is very, very high interest in physical health and sport in particular. So that's all our sporting competitions have been cancelled here. So that's, people who are full on into their sport and gives them a real sense of identity and meaning. That's going to be probably a big part of overcoming this challenge of, here I think we're 3 weeks, we've committed to 3 weeks of no restaurants and no schools. So something to think about. So I was going to say, did you want to speak about your background a bit more?
Yeah. And even as we're talking, there's just so much more to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just we're gonna have to be careful because we'll just go.
So we're gonna have to wrap it up. This video is just meant to be a bit of a pitch to get the idea out there and garner some interest and get everybody contributing. My background is in psychology, so I studied psychology, did my undergrad. I'm not a registered psychologist, so I can't diagnose people, and I can't call myself a psychologist. But I've done a bit. I've done 8 years of study in it, and now I work as mainly a consultant, a lot in the gender equality space, around, you know, healthier masculinities, and just working on those big social problems around preventing family violence and things like that. But using a well-being lens to do that. So rather than thinking about how do we fix the problem, how do we give people the skills and tools and resources that they need to stop being violent or stop being what they are and be what they could be. So that's a lot of what my background involves. But I guess there's a lot more to it, and you'll keep hearing about that as we go through our convos. So
Yeah, there'll be a real discovering phase early on with little things. Oh, I haven't mentioned this, and maybe some things that should be cut out of video. Who knows? We'll see. So I think that's probably a pretty good spot to wind it up. I think most of our episodes will probably go somewhere between half an hour to 45 an hour. Who knows? Depends on who we get on and how interesting the conversation is. But yeah, that's probably a good point to wrap up. And yeah, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I'm just wanted to say thanks for coming on this adventure with us, and you know, hopefully it'll be beneficial. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be really cool. I want to talk to all of you. Yeah.
I'm super pumped. It's a good chance for me to get connected back to Australia as well. So and the world. Like I'm so interested to hear from real people around the world, and hopefully this is a space to connect people and give different perspectives. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep, me too. All right. Well, we'll see you on COVID Convos.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys.